Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What is going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I'm your co-host, Aramis.
This is No Salt Key.
No Salt Key in the head house. Listen, today is going to be a very, very interesting show. I'm starting to say that every show, but the more we dive deeper into these concepts, the better the conversation gets. And I think today is not going to be any exception whatsoever.
I need to amend that, though, real quick.
Sure.
I do have a little salt, but we'll get to that in a
moment.
moment.
Okay. Oh, you might have some salt over this list I want to tell you about.
Oh,
you might have
list.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But before we do that, we actually have a producer cue today. So we're going to start off the show a little bit different. We're going to start off with producer cues. Producer, what's your question?
I don't know if you guys are aware of Jazari Jackson. He kind of passed away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyrie, yep.
Mm-hmm. Was this the one that was already in the hospital?
Mm-mm.
No, it's somebody different?
Hospital
didn't,
for what?
Didn't the Vikings have somebody that went to the hospital earlier?
He did, but then I guess something else happened, and then he sort of died.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this was a car accident, and actually that was my first stuff too.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it's heartbreaking. A dream realized he never got to experience the actual game or even a training camp.
Yeah.
Just got drafted in the 2023 draft, so 2024 draft. So
wow.
Heart goes out to the family and fans in the Vikings organization.
Yeah, same, man. That's devastating.
Yeah,
that's devastating. It's just one day you're talking to somebody, and 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
And he wasn't driving. And report is the person that was driving got run off the road by a SUV. They swerved hard. They were going at a high rate of speed, swerved hard, and they ended up running off the road into a bunch of tree stumps. So he died. He died on the scene, and I think it was him and two of his college teammates, and one of them died in the hospital, but two died on the scene and one in the hospital.
Do you think we're late for the era of self-driving cars so that we can eliminate distracted drivers?
You know what? I'm scared of them too. I'm scared of
really?
things too. Yeah, man. That thing might zig when it's supposed to zag you in the ocean somewhere with your vehicle. Those Teslas and stuff. People eating their chili fries and taking nap. Man, I need to see. I hate driving as much as the next man. Well, more than the next man, but I need to see what's going on. I need my foot on that brake. But
yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are okay with it. I'm sorry, producer. What was the question, though?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. As far as players passing?
I think it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know how you say it. It's just strange because, a lot of people look at him as larger than life, untouchable.
Yeah.
And just you don't see it that often. You see it, you've seen, Sean Taylor's, Chris Henry's, stuff like that. But you don't see it as often as you would think, even as far as DeMar Hamlin on the field. Coming back, that was touch and go for a long time. But when you're 20, was he 23 years old? I'm 40. I could dang near be his dad, and it really hits home when you talk about you have a kid or you have a niece or a nephew or a cousin, anybody little in your family. You think about it. So,
yeah. Really good friend of mine. It's kind of like a little brother, and we hadn't talked in a while. I was really good friends with his older sister, and man, it was another athlete being driven by somebody else that ended up getting into a car accident, and what they ended up crashing into the back of a truck, but the speed that they were going and the car sat lower than the truck, so usually once that happens it kind of just clips the top of the car, and he didn't make it. And this dude was a really, really good basketball player. He was coming up in the circuit, and he had a real shot. Just as good of a shot as some of the people that have actually made it to the NBA. And I watched him develop into that for years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whenever I would go over there, that's all we would do is, they had a really big living room, but he had this little play basketball in the house on top of a court in the backyard. And that's all we would do is just shoot the basketball, and this dude would crush me every single time. You know what I mean? They used to call him Amir Buckets. They used to call him Buckets, Amir Buckets Billups. But I mean, too soon. I think he was early 20s. Yeah. You know what I mean? He couldn't have been much older than that. But I mean, when stuff like this gets into the conversation of real life, it kind of brings a certain levity to the sport, where you kind of understand, like, everything ain't about the game. You know what I mean? You put the fanhood aside, you put the rah-rah stuff, and you just kind of understand that, like, these are real people. You know what I'm saying? These are people with children. These are people with grandmas and uncles and aunts and cousins, and they might have somebody who's fighting cancer in their family, or they might have somebody who is on the run from a gang or something like that in their family. Like, very real things happen in these people's lives. You know what I'm saying? And I think this kind of connects to what you were talking about last episode on Friday, how most of these guys just want to be treated like regular people, because they go through the same stuff that we go through. It's just oftentimes, it's on a larger scale because they have much more responsibility with all that money. You know what I mean? Right. So it's tough. But, we wish his family the best. What's going on, Chris? Go Bills.
Yes.
But yeah. So, I mean, that's my answer on it. Did you have anything else, producer? Okay.
Producer Q. Okay.
Yeah. So that was it for Producer Q's.
Thanks for bringing the show to a somber start. No, I'm joking. That was my first thing anyway. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. Billy Williams says, can't take time for granted. Absolutely right. Time is the most valuable thing we have. We need to make sure that we are not trying to trade it for money all the daggone time. Right. Like, it's really not that serious in the grand scheme of things when you get ready to go and you start thinking about, all the things you could have done that you didn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, seize the day. Carpe diem. All right. So I got a list here.
Okay.
Of the top 20 pass-catching running backs in the NFL.
The current one.
Per, what is this? What is this? This is Colts Wire. I'm sorry. USA Today.
Is it the current running backs?
Yes. Okay. These are all current running backs. It's not all time. These are all running backs that are in the NFL currently. And
James Cook is 21. Yeah, sure.
James Cook is not on this list.
I know. That's why I said 21. Sure. I get it. I get it.
Not on this list. Did you see who number 2 was?
I didn't see a list at all.
Okay. I'll give you number 3. Number 3 is Jaleel McLaughlin.
Who's he play for?
The Broncos. I mean, your first answer is exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
It's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Let's see if you know who number 2 is. Christian McCaffrey.
I want to know who number 1 is.
There you go.
I want to know who number 1 is.
There you go. That's the right question. Number 1 rated pass-catching running back in the NFL.
Is it? If it's not Eckler or Kamara.
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall? Breece Hall? Number 1, huh? Who is this again? Who is this again? Because I'm about to follow. If I'm following him, I'm going to follow him. I'm going to do what that dude does. Follow him, slander him, and then unfollow him right away. No, don't tell. No, we will not be calm here. This needs to be addressed. Breece Hall is number 1.
Bro, this is
overall.
USA Today. It's a reputable.
Screw
news
all of them.
company.
Screw everybody over there. Brees Hall.
What's wrong with Brees Hall?
Listen,
Christian
let me.
McCaffrey is not number one.
Who else is on this list?
That's the first. That's who's number 4.
There are 2 gentlemen at number 4.
How does that work? So you're going to tie at 4, but you put Christian McCaffrey at 2, and you're confident with this.
Oh yeah. This is what they're doing out here. So tied for number 4 is Tyler Algier for the Falcons.
Okay, I've heard of him, even though I never use him.
Samaje P. Ryan for the Broncos.
For real? They just throwing stuff against the wall.
Guess who number 6 is on this list?
Who?
Alvin Kamara.
Okay, keep going. All right. Because see now what I got. You got to stall me out because I'm about to listen.
All right. Number
Stall
7.
me out.
I don't even know if I've seen enough from this dude to really put him on this list. But
What the hell is the criteria?
Devin A-Chain. Have we seen anything other than really, really short
He
screens?
catches?
Exactly. Let me see. Tyjae Spears, Titans.
Okay, this list is a hack.
I think they're just picking scat backs, it sounds like.
This list of that. I don't even. You know what? I'm not even mad. James Cook isn't on the list because he had the drops. But what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Why is the camera always on?
Can I interest you in a Brian Robinson,
Bryant?
the
you
power
cannot
back
interest me.
for the Commanders?
No, you cannot. Anything from the Commanders. I know he got shot and came back. He had the Willis Reed moment, but no.
You might like this one. Number 12 is Kenneth Walker.
I like Kenneth Walker, but still.
For this list?
Brees Hall?
Oh, it gets even better.
Oh, yeah.
It gets even better. Guess who number 13 is? Derrick Henry.
Man, throw this list in the garbage. Man, throw this out. Throw this trash in the garbage. Man, throw this trash in the garbage.
I could not believe what I was seeing.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Get the person on the phone. Call the president. Come on now.
14 is Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay. At this point, okay, whatever.
Yeah, right. Now, this is where it gets confusing. 15 is Travis Etienne Jr. I mean, he needed to be much right. He's supposed
like
to be
James
much
Cook.
higher on this list. 16, James Conner.
James Conner. This list is, man. I can't.
Yo.
It's too early in the show to say what it really is. So.
Yeah. Joe Mixon is 18.
You know, my mom doesn't watch the show until about after the show goes off. So maybe I can get away with it and just tell her don't watch the first 10 minutes.
19, AJ Dillon.
Thunder Thigh.
Thunder
Mega Thigh. Whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah, the 250-pound running back.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't get
Why
it.
is this list a thing?
I don't.
You know what they had to write something.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is on here.
Jahmyr Gibbs is good. Okay, let's
Yeah,
look at this.
yeah. Kareem Hunt is on here.
Let's look how lazy this is. Brees Hall had 76 receptions. Okay, fine. Maybe based on that, he was the number 1 guy. Alvin Kamara, number 2. Christian McCaffrey, 3. Rashad White, 4.
Rashad White is on this list.
Jalen Warren.
I think he is on this list.
Okay.
On this list.
Travis Etienne. Bijan Robinson.
I do not see. There's Rashad White. Let me see. Justice Hill.
Justice Hill.
Zach Charbonnet. Dalvin Cook is on this list. And Chuba Hubbard at 32. So this is a top 32 list. Sorry.
Okay. So let's
This is PFF. These are PFF. These are
he's
by,
on PFF.
Well, USA Today wrote this based on PFF grades.
You can't do that. PFF grades are dookie. PFF grades are trash.
Right.
I use them for their metrics. I'm going on Pro Football Reference. Receptions, like I said, we already went through them. Let's go yards. Let's do that. Brees Hall, Christian McCaffrey, Rashad White, Bijan Robinson, Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara, Samaje P. Ryan, James Cook, 8.
Yeah, how did James Cook not make the list based off of these stats?
I don't know. He was in the top 20 in receptions and yards. Antonio Gibson, but like you said, with regards to PFF, they killed him because of his drops probably. Huh?
Where's Jonathan Taylor on this list?
I'm going to have to control F that.
Yeah, it ain't on this first page of like 60 dudes.
50.
He's 50?
Number 50 in terms of yardage.
On this list, he's 28.
See? Based on what?
Based on the PFF grades.
Based on nothing.
Right. So
No, that was the editor said we need something from you by 5 o'clock today. He said, let me just get 20 names. Throw them on there. Nobody will notice. Nobody reads this garbage anyway.
Yeah.
They all listen to the Post Podium podcast anyway. That's where you get the truth from.
So I mean, this just I thought this was really funny. It just goes to show you gotta do a little bit more than surface level research when it comes to finding out information about teams and players and stuff like that. And context counts all the time, because if you're just going by the grades, yeah, okay, you could easily put this list together, but outside of that, it could easily be torn apart too. So make sure you know what you're talking about.
If you're going, I'm just going to read the top 10 touchdowns because I'm still on this topic. I'm stuck now.
It's burning you up.
Yeah, it's burning me up. Touchdowns: Christian McCaffrey, Jerome Ford, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, James Cook, Saquon Barkley, Brian Robinson Jr., Drake McKinnon, Rashad White, Joe Mixon. I'm not going to do catches because these guys had like 6 catches. That's not going to work. I mean,
Ty Johnson's on the list.
Huh?
Ty Johnson's on the list.
Oh, he's number 1. Catch percentage, 100% on 7 receptions. Right. Yay, Ty.
He won't even get third down back duties here.
Right. No.
That's the sad part.
Mm-hmm. That list was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. It was comically bad.
Yep. Columbus Bully, if you're watching, I did not get a chance to answer you in your comment. He wanted us to talk about Ray Davis possibly taking over running back duties from James Cook. I know that's something we covered a month ago.
You wanted to talk about it.
No, I promise you.
Why is this kick me in the? Why is this my day? Why is this my day? I don't like the way this is starting. Okay. I don't. We'll get on that for a second. But you know what grinded my gears before I came in?
What's that?
I'm sipping my cold brew, right?
Okay.
I said a venti cold brew. This is a venti cup.
Mm-hmm.
I said no ice. Why would you fill it to here?
With ice?
With no ice.
Oh, okay.
She fills it to here.
Yeah.
When I say I want a venti cold brew, no ice, fill this mother plug pucker up, man.
Well,
fill it up. If it's an upcharge, say it. Otherwise, give me a smaller cup. Don't give me a half empty cup. That looks stupid. Don't do it. And this is the only Starbucks that does that. This one over here. Only one over here.
Oh, yeah.
All the other ones,
yeah.
They understand the assignment.
Yeah.
I don't care if you charge me more. I don't want no damn ice. Don't put no ice in my cup. Don't put no air in my cup either.
You would think the one in the hood over here is this little,
you would think they would do something for
right.
me.
Yeah.
Some of your Lucy cold brew or something.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But the possibilities of Ray Davis taking over for James Cook, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a fun conversation.
It was.
I'll put the link in the description if anybody hasn't seen it yet and you want to check it out. I'll put the link in the description. But I mean, it's like based on where the offensive line is right now, I think the run scheme that we saw last year was an adaptation of Ken Dorsey's run scheme. I think we might see some more innovative things in the run game, but I don't think that just completely negates the. Let's check to see if the lights are on.
But they here again? What's going on?
Huh?
They here again?
No. right. The spirits are with us.
Oh man, the ancestors.
Yeah, right. No, so I. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't think the offensive line's play is going to mitigate the risk to James Cook running up the middle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's good at doing it.
Yeah.
But
which he shouldn't be, but he is.
If they continue to use him in that way in the run game, right, he's going to get hurt, and then you lose his capabilities in the pass game. And that's where he's most dangerous. That's where you really needed to be taking advantage of his skill set to begin with. He's a route runner. Mm-hmm. You can use him in that way. And you could even run the shotgun and have both running backs on the field at the same time. It's not hard to do. Mm-hmm. You'd be making Josh happy as heck too. You know what I'm saying?
I think yeah. If you could find a way to get Shakir and Coleman and even Samuel in the backfield with James Cook if you wanted to. I mean, in that regard, I don't know how much Ray Davis is gonna usurp Samuel, because it seems like they really want to use him in that running back kind of deal, which we talked about. And you said, why bother? Just get rid of him at that point. But It sounds like that's what they want him to do, because if you look at what he done under Brady, he had a lot of runs.
So do you think that this is a matter of we spent a second-round pick on this dude, and that's almost a first-round pick, and if we're going to spend that high on a running back, we damn well better use him sort of thing? Or do you think that James Cook is that much better as a runner than everybody else on the team?
I mean, it depends on what you ask him to do. I think I would like James because I like his skill set. I like what he does.
Yeah.
The guys that like Devin Singletary, which is a lot of people, which I still don't really fully grasp it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you like Devin Singletary, you're not going to like James Cook that much because,
True.
Singletary is that up the middle, tough yardage, little guy who's not fast, but he's going to get you yardage. James Cook's going to dance around and miss a hole or two trying to make a big play. But when he hits that hole, and Devin Singletary was like we were talking about earlier with that cold brew. James Cook is Devin Singletary on the cold brew, and Devin's like, where'd he go?
Right.
So I mean, I think it's not so much of trying to force him on the field. He proved that he could be on the field and should be on the field. It's just the fact that we need to figure out what we want to do. And I always say, what's the identity? What do we want to be? Because we talked about it with Rev on X. We Xified him. And so we discussed the Connor McGovern theory. We discussed the Mitch Morse Connor McGovern pairing.
Yeah.
It's got to get better right in that spot. That A gap right there has to get better. That B gap wasn't as bad as the A, but it was bad.
Right.
It's a trend on that left side. So moving Connor to center, which is where he says he loves playing center. He says that's what he got drafted as.
He says he's more comfortable. It doesn't mean he's going to be better.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He says, I love it. That's my natural position. But everywhere you've been on some good lines has had you at left guard.
Do we have – are we able to get his scouting report from college?
Sure.
At center to kind of see, what his strengths and weaknesses were coming out? Because, I mean, that would be interesting to see was he a good center coming out? And why – if he was that good, why did the team change his position? Did they – he spent where did he come from? He came from Dallas. So their center was who? Connor Williams? No, I think I'm talking about.
But yeah, while you do that, I'm going to look up this scouting report.
All right, so who is Dallas center?
I can see the guy, but I don't know. Okay, so his let's see. McGovern was a nice get for the Nittany Lions as a Pennsylvania Mr. Football Award finalist and high school All-American. He was considered one of the top centers and guard prospects in the country coming out of Larksville. He started 9 of 13 games, played at right guard as a true freshman, and moved to center for his sophomore season, starting at 13 games in a pivot. McGovern was named third-team All-Big Ten selection and Penn State's most outstanding offensive lineman for his play as a junior, again starting at all 13 games, 12 at right guard, 1 at center in 2018. McGovern's father played at Colgate. Why did I read that? Because I didn't know what I was going to say. But anyway, even in college, he went from center, where he had to start at 13 games, and his junior year he went from a center back to guard for 12 games. So even in college –
Roger Saffold comparison, and we had him on the team. That might have been why they went and got him too.
And he was big garbage.
Yeah.
He was kind of garbage before here. Yeah.
Yeah, he was good before.
Yeah, he was good at Washington or the Rams or whatever. But even in college, you can see McGovern played right guard. He didn't play center as often as he likes. He says he wants to play center. Let me see if I can find something real quick here. What is it?
Dang.
Yeah, sources tell us
you read his weaknesses already?
I didn't read that yet, but the sources tell us he is one of the favorite guards because he's got real size and real power. A lot of college linemen are coming in so light that it takes time to get them big and strong enough to play. So even in the sources tell us my favorite guards. His weakness, hands are too wide in pass protection. He needs more consistent angles up to the second level. Inconsistent timing up to the second to block on combos. Measured lateral movement lacks desired quickness.
That might have been why he was moved to guard right there.
Yep. Uses a gallop step to mirror edge. He can't play the edge, though, so he can't play tackle.
Right.
Mirror edge running 3 techniques. Tends to overset and open inside counter, so that's why another reason why his guard is off. He gets caught up over his toes, That's another reason why you can't play center, because if you're leaning forward.
Between that and the gallop steps, he'll get beat by most quick defensive linemen.
Yeah. He'll lean and lunge for redirecting pass protection. So he's going to lean and lunge from the center position.
Yeah.
Inside post becomes a target due to oversets. Needs better reaction time and awareness to twist.
We saw that in the play that we were looking at.
We saw that. I don't like what I'm hearing of a center with these write-ups here.
Right. What are his strengths?
Starting experience at both guard and center. NFL body type with broad upper body and good lower body thickness. Works well in double teams. Can punch and carry targets while in double block set-ins. Stays wide and can play wide. Good catch and run and secure transitioning on zone blocks. Bends effectively for desired pad level. Able to dig opponents. Anchor out on down blocks. Consistent hand placement as a run blocker. Not easily bull rush. Can open his hips and make athletic recoveries when beaten. Decent recovery, power, and pass protection. This sounds more like a guard.
It just sounds more like an athletic guy that's okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a lot of the stuff that they're describing as strengths are not, skill related. They're more so, just talent related. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't sound like it's that great. What was his? Oh, okay. So he's
eventual starter.
Yeah. It's eventually be an average starter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough.
And that's a guard too. That's not even at center. So, right. I mean, you say you like being a center. Show us something. You want to show us something, because we got a guy we drafted in the 5th round, and everybody's saying, SVPG, a lot of letters. Man can play. And I do not want to see him play guard. I mean, can he? He's never. Well, he didn't do it in college, so we'll see where they put him. But he has to play somewhere.
What is his? What is McGovern's? Hold on, I want to see his contract situation, because I don't think this is a favorable contract for us.
No, it's not. He has to start. Basically, he's getting paid. What was his? I mean, it wasn't horrible, but wasn't it like $6 million, something like that, $7 million?
Okay, so 2024, his base salary is. So his cap number for this year is only $4.1 million or 4.16.
Okay.
But the dead cap hit is $11 million if we were to cut him. And even next year it's $7 million.
No, he's locked in.
Right.
Together forever.
We don't really get a break on his. Oh, he's got, so after 2025 he's got 3 voidable years. But
yay, my favorites.
I know, because if we were to cut him, if we were to void his contract in 29, we still owe him $4 million. We still owe him $4 million, and we take $4 million in dead cap.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
It's just nonsense at this point. It's nonsense at this point. I mean, I get this is who we have, and we got to make do and put him in a position to, play because of the contract. But listen, if you were willing to take a $31 million dead cap hit for Stephon Diggs, then you should be able to just keep this dude on the bench and not play him. If he's not one of your best 5, you don't need to play him. You felt like Diggs wasn't one of your best 5, you cut him or you traded him or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. To me, it just makes sense. It's a logical thought process.
Their center was Tyler Biadasz. Biadasz.
Biadasz.
I know him. I just don't know how to say his last name. So you asked me how he did in college, I could tell you, but I don't know how to say that last name.
He was a pretty good center. He just got hurt a lot.
He's good. I actually drafted him on one of my Maddens. It had to be Madden 22.
Okay.
But yeah, he's an excellent player. He just is injury bug.
Yeah. Roy says, have to hope SVPG adapts to the NFL quickly if the McGovern experiment doesn't work out. And he's got the little rolling eyes emoji.
But the problem I have with that is a lot like Tyler Bass. It's a lot of that familiarity, because Josh likes to work out of the shotgun, so you have to know how to snap to him. I mean, all jokes aside, when Knox and McGovern up there giggling like the little schoolgirls about placing hands on booty cheeks and stuff like this.
Right.
But yeah, it happened. We talked about this already. No pause moment. It's a residual. Booty cheeks, yes. But you know, you gotta like he said, you gotta know if he likes to snap a little to the left, a little to the
Junior's
right.
getting offended over here.
Hey, loosen them cheeks, boy.
Yo, bro.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta know it. They gotta iron this stuff out in training camp. That's coming what 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of work to do in figuring out where they want to. You know, they got to decide fast because he already has experience playing between a center and Deion Dawkins. Now, are you going to move SVPG in there, or are you going to move Connor and move David Edwards to guard? Or are you going to put SVPG at guard? That's something they got to figure out on the fly. And
Right.
time is running out.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's one of those situations where you drafted SVPG where you did, and you have a head coach that doesn't typically trust rookies early on, especially if he's got a veteran that he can put in that hole and start with. And then on top of that, the veteran has to be so bad, like so horribly bad in order to get pulled. Like he's got to be Nathan Peterman bad in order to get pulled.
You got to be worse than that because Nathan Peterson, he had to Peterman himself out of the game. He got multiple chances.
He sure
Peterman
did.
got a whole bunch of shots
Sure
at this.
did. Even after the 5 interception game, he got to start too.
Let's try him one more time.
Right.
No, he should have been cut that day.
Oh man, yeah. So what I wanted to say was, we now have a center that's better at double team blocking than individual capabilities, and as a center, you can scheme some things up to make his job a little bit easier on the offensive line, but for the most part, your center should be someone who can handle his own.
Yeah.
Just because of most of what happens in the run game, on pulls or on zone blocks or wham block, all those different types of catch the defensive line off guard type of run plays. It's tough when you don't have a guy that can win on his own.
Yeah, you got to have what Lee Corso called 2 hog mollies up front.
Yeah, right.
You got to have those 2 guys. I mean, you see a lot of times the center is like looking for somebody to block. He'll snap and just be looking around.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen if you don't have two bona fide
Now,
guys
see,
next
if
to
you
him.
put Lael Collins at guard, now you got 2 hog mollies at guard that can cover your boy.
Let's see what they do with it. Let's see what they do because they like David Edwards and so does Cromer.
Listen, David Edwards can.
Well, Cromer likes him. That's his guy from the Rams. So we'll see. I didn't say he likes him more than the next guy, but you know he has a history with him.
Lindsay said, "My mom overheard you saying booty cheeks and spit out her drink laughing."
Well, tell Mama now she laughs. She got to be part of the family.
That's
She
true.
got to be part of the family.
Roy says, "I think McGovern will be fine, but I've been known to be wrong often." Yeah, man. I hate to say it like this, Roy. You my guy. I love you, man. But I think this might be one of those times, man. This might be one of those times.
It could go really bad. It could go pretty good. I don't think it's going to go really good or great, but I think it could go pretty good or it could be really bad.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be manageable. It's going to be one of those things where, like the center position, because we got to keep this in mind too. Like we love Eric Wood. But Eric Wood was not one of the best centers in the NFL when he played.
Shall I say it?
What?
Eric Wood was Kyle Williams. Eric Wood was Kyle Williams.
Nope.
Eric Wood was revered in Buffalo. And people that have seen him in excess of the national guys. But Eric Wood.
I'm not listening.
But we got at least like 18 people watching right now. They're listening.
Right, I don't have to listen.
I got somebody listening. I mean, and the thing is, that's not saying that Kyle Williams was bad. Mm-hmm. That's not where I was going with it. But it's just a lore to me. You know, Kyle Williams to me was good.
He wasn't one of the more dominant defensive tackles in the league. I get
he was
that.
like average, middle of the pack in the league. That's what I say. He was about right there. Eric Wood to me, people love Eric Wood mostly because they associate him with the drought and being loyal to the team when he probably could have left like Levitre.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers Levitre except you loved him, but ask everybody else who remembers him.
True.
You know, so I think a lot of that team, the longer you stayed with the team, the bigger your lore.
That's true, especially when the rest of the team sucked. If you had a couple of dudes
Yeah.
that was pretty good and they stayed on the team a long
Yeah.
time, it was like, he's part of the family. Yeah.
Right, Brian Mormons. When he got cut, people were like holding hands, embracing, crying, and doing all this. Their head, their head blew off, and nose started bleeding, and all this stuff.
Yeah, all that?
Probably.
What, were they on crack?
No, they're on that cold brew.
Yo, before the show started, the look on Keyshawn's face as he tried to offer me this drink as if I was going to be like just taken to a whole nother level of living by drinking this coffee. This what do we say? Coffee bean syrup?
It's coffee bean syrup.
It's coffee
That's
bean
exactly
syrup.
what it is. Yep.
I mean, this stuff is so potent. Like, because I mentioned, I started drinking iced coffees, right? Because it's summertime. I'm not drinking anything hot. I don't wear socks, and I'm barely trying to wear.
Why? Okay. All right. I'm not gonna go there. You got. Thanks, man.
What?
I was gonna steer clear of the
Like,
sock
why you do
conversation
that?
today.
No, listen, anybody that wears socks and sandals, like seriously,
Ankle socks. So like,
It's okay. It's okay. You
Just-
cover it up.
just stay in the house. Just stay in the house.
We needed a producer.
That's really what you want to do.
We needed a producer.
You want to put socks on and some house shoes.
Who was gonna push the button?
Yo,
if we
Roy
didn't
said there will be no Kyle Williams slander.
I didn't slander him. I just spoke all truth.
Right.
No
Tell him,
sodium.
Roy. Laura says Eric was a nice guy when I met him. I wish he'd talked to Micah about life after football. He's made a great career for himself.
Oh, he's a hell of a guy. Hell of a guy. I just saw him the other day.
Billy Williams said I started drinking Colt 45.
Yeah.
My wife
Colt
was
45.
and everything. Yo, Keisha got so excited when you just said that, bro.
Drink that Colt 45. That's exactly how you say it. I remember the commercial like it was yesterday.
Laura says Starbucks have angered the Black Coffee King today. That's right. That's right. That's why I don't want to start drinking that stuff, because I don't want to end up being that way. I don't want to have none of that stuff happen in my life where I just start blowing up on people on the show.
Yeah, you like,
because
where's some coffee?
See, look at him. He's already out of control.
I'm out of control. I'm in contempt.
we need to get a gavel in here.
I know. Out of order.
Wait,
I know. I
use
understand.
the eraser as one? Yeah, there you go. That'll work. The eraser is the gavel. All right, let's move on.
What do you mean? What do we end
Wait,
on?
we
were talking about this offensive line. Now we're moving on because I said something about Kyle Williams and Eric Wood. And now
yeah, we can't continue.
We can't sustain the show with that.
No, Roy will literally come up here and see you face to face.
As long as Roy is subscribed, he can slander me whenever he wants. Me and Roy are like this. We are bargain bin sneakers. We brothers. Sometimes brothers bicker. It's okay.
Oh wow! Roy said just got a Starbucks near me. Haven't tried it yet.
I don't know how much coffee you need. But
Don't do it, Roy.
Don't do cold brew.
Listen. It's something about that place. My wife loves it. I've had some breakfast sandwiches from there. We used to look up the like those specialty coffees that they be putting on Pinterest and all that.
Look up the Kevin Hart skit on Starbucks. That's how it is. And when you first go in there,
Yeah, it's a whole different experience. You know what I really like from there is the cake pops.
Ken likes the cake pops. Yeah, Ken likes the cake pops.
I might step on a few toes to get a hold of some cake pops.
Some cake pops.
Like it's bad.
I'm not a sweets guy, so I mean I know some people go bonkers for that stuff. T, she'll cut my arm off. I don't get her a Danish.
Right.
It's got to be a Danish. She will go silent in the car. They were like, "Is that all?" Yeah, that's it. I look at her. She's like,
Right.
"I wanted my Danish. They didn't have it." Oh, I'm like, "They didn't have it." She's like, "You ain't ask."
Wow.
You want me to go back? Nah, that's okay. And then she just look out the window. I'm like, dang, over a Danish. It's an awkward car ride. Speaking of which,
I love her, yo.
I'm in this trying to get a Danish.
Right, that's the whole reason I came with you,
Her and
Keyshawn.
Ken's drinks are more expensive than my drinks, and I get him a drink me and Ken get.
What does he get?
The mango dragon fruit refresher with lemonade in it.
The what? Well, what?
Mango dragon fruit refresher with lemonade in it.
Oh, that's common.
Yeah, and it also costs like $6. So yeah, he gets that. She'll get like a caramel ribbon crunch mocha, whatever the hell that thing is. And I mean, these things. I mean, my order with 3 of us is like $18. Mine is like $4.95. Black coffee, no frills. Give me the cold brew. Huh?
I'm in shock at these drinks.
Oh, I can go further. But wait, there's more. So in another episode of Kids Say the Darndest Things, today.
Oh no, what do you do?
Today, my son gets up,
Okay.
comes out with a frown on his face, bare chested, draws. Dad, what do you want to do about this? What do you want to do about what? Just how he starts. No good more, no nothing. He's just mad. I'm like, what? Mom took my TV. I said, huh? What do you mean? She told him he couldn't watch TV after midnight.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This man was up in arms. I act like I was asleep last night. I heard everything. I act like I was asleep. I was like, yo, I'm not a part of this. I'm not going to be privy. I'm not taking sides. So he gets up. He's like, Dad, I'll do whatever I have to do to get my TV back. I'm like, she didn't take it for the day. She just took it after midnight. You're 7. He's like, this is unacceptable. Whoa, bare chested. He would look me dead in my eye. Not a smile. This is what are we gonna do about this? I'm like,
oh, he knows he's in a democracy state.
Well, I don't know why, because she ain't giving it back. But he said, Dad, this is unacceptable. I said, you need to talk to your mom because I'm not even home at midnight. So
Wow.
whatever y'all do to knock down drag outs that y'all have when I'm not here, carry
You
on.
let him know. Listen, ain't no democracy in this piece. It's a tyranny.
Well, he
Straight
knows
up.
when I'm around, it's different. I like to let her do her thing because I'm tired of that. I'm gonna tell Dad, why you telling me? What'd he do? I need to decide if it's severe enough for me to put him on punishment. Should I yell? Would I have agreed with him? I don't know. But at this point, you say I'm gonna tell Dad, I can't lose my credibility as an authoritarian. I got to do what she said I'm gonna do. So stop telling him I'm gonna do. Text me ahead of time. I need a
at the
report.
very least, she should be giving you all the information so you can make a decision.
See, when they say Dad gonna handle it,
Okay.
At this point, Dad got to handle it. Because what do you call him in Puerto Rican? The chocla? Chancla?
Oh, chancla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been waving this thing around for 7 years. He don't even care. He ain't never got touched with this thing. She be like, I'm going to hit you. He like, he like,
She ain't thrown the chancla yet?
no.
What is wrong with her? T, listen, if you catch this show, or even if you just replay it, when
I'll
you
just
go
replay
home,
it for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to throw the chancla.
Gotta
At least
throw it.
once.
At least let him know you ain't playing.
Right, he's got to know.
That's like, what did you do?
His Puerto Rican side cannot be activated until he gets a chancla in the back of the head.
Well, we got to.
That's what it is. Am I right or wrong?
Yo, my mom will find anything in the house, a broom or anything.
Yep.
and throw it at me. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm black.
Until you get something thrown at you like that, your Puerto Rican side is dormant.
Well, see, in my world, it's a little different because my mom, she'll say I didn't do that. But yes, you did, Mom. She should throw her house shoe at me because, they say I'm going to hit you with, if you don't shut up or whatever, I'm going to hit you with whatever's in my hand. So she threw a house shoe at me, but I was a little athletic, a little bit. So I dip it. I'm like, you can't hit me with a house shoe. You ain't got no aim. So I'm antagonizing her, right?
You can't do that, bro. Okay.
So she got smart.
Uh-huh.
She took one, threw it, and let me dip into the second one. So she would throw it knowing I'm going to go to my right, and she would throw it to the right. Yep.
She pulled out her dodgeball skills
Man.
from back in the middle school days.
Mom was
Got
something
you
else.
good.
Mom was something else. She thought she was faster than me, too, when I was like 19. That was a false one, but.
You want to know how bad I was? My mom threw a cast iron frying pan at me.
Yo, that's heavy.
Like
She launched it. You must have really pissed her off because
I threw, huh?
you must have really pissed, because that's heavy. She could have thrown her UCL out with that.
Cast iron frying pan across the kitchen into the hallway near the doorway of my room where I was standing. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. It wasn't a throw it and it just landed at my feet.
No.
She threw it and I had to dive
Yeah.
out of the way to avoid getting hit with this
Or
thing.
we wouldn't be here today.
She threw it like the freaking Captain America shield.
Yeah.
Somehow the strength that she got from the anger that
Yeah,
I gave her.
you passed on something. You passed on something.
Bro, it was bad.
It was real bad.
It was real bad.
Because that
Listen,
thing, my wrist, when I hold it up, I'm like, it's like Thor. So for her to just
and it
wing
was the mid-sized joint too.
Man,
It was like
brother.
this. So like the wrist strength.
Yeah,
bro,
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yo,
man,
It was-
cornbread was not happening in your house, Daddy.
it was serious. Chat. How bad have y'all pissed y'all mom off? What did she throw at you? Like I put it in the chat. I need to know the wooden spoon or the spatula. There you go.
All right, full disclosure.
You don't want to know what I did to get the frying pan.
The most epic whooping I ever got.
Uh-huh.
Actually, when I think about it, it's funny. Because I think I was about 7, 8 years old. And I was in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
We play basketball. You go up on the shower and you hang on it, right? So I'm hanging on it. And my mom caught me. She's like, don't do that no more. So I'm like, all right, ma, I won't. Hang on it again. And I kicked the shower curtain or the window curtain down. Man, you ever been, in the way the bathroom was set up, there was stairs next to the bathroom to the rooms.
Okay.
My room was upstairs.
Okay.
I was in the shower. I had no clothes in there.
Ooh.
So I'm in the bathtub, just trying to fix, when you get out, I'm getting you. I was like, all right.
What movie was that where the girl caught the dude in the shower and whooped his behind?
Man, that
belt?
was it was Regina King and I forget the dude's name, Laz Alonso. She
tore
tagged
that
him up,
dude
put the oil on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's how mom got you?
no, this is even better.
Oh.
So I'm in there screaming for help at this point. Dog, I'm screaming, help, she gonna kill me. Help. She gonna take me out. So she's like, all right, time's up, get out. Because she's tired. This time my mom was, I'm tired of waiting, get out. So I opened the door. She's sitting on the step. That was my escape. I was going to go upstairs. I knew I was getting there. I was trying to get dressed real quick.
Right.
At least put something on. So when I closed the door, I was like, dang, okay. If I can get away from them stairs, I'm good. So what my little naked self did was I opened her and booked it into the living room and tried to make a loop.
Trying to get her to chase you around the couch.
She chased me. But you ever seen the National Geographic joint where the lion take down the gazelle? That was me. My mom took me down like that lion. I was on that bad boy, man. Man.
She went on all fours like the dude from Split.
I think she tackled me. Yeah, she took me down.
Wow.
She took me down. She really wanted it.
What?
I ain't hang on that shower curtain
She
no
was
more.
gonna get that tail.
Nah, I ain't hang on that thing no more. It wasn't worth
Wow.
it. It wasn't worth it.
Wow. We got a few comments here. Lindsay said. Lindsay said, I miss Tim Hortons chocolate chip cookies. Would you prefer Starbucks coffee drinks over Tim Hortons?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
I don't
Tim
use Tim
Hortons
Hortons
all
at all. Huh?
I said I'm Tim Hortons all the way.
Starbucks. Well, this is what Tim Hortons did. They said they have a cold brew. You do not have a cold brew. That's iced coffee. It tastes like garbage, and I don't want it. Tim Hortons cold brew tastes like garbage.
He don't put no sugar and no cream or nothing in his. This is all black.
Yeah, and I know the flavors. I know the difference between breakfast blend, Colombian. I know the French roast. I know if you give it to me and you give me breakfast blend, I'm spitting it in your face. That stuff is terrible. It's tragic. I would never do that, but it's tragic.
Billy said he can't drink muddy water.
That's pretty much what this is.
Yeah.
It's a lifeline
Coffee
now.
bean syrup.
Hey, I work a lot.
You work overnight a lot.
I'm supposed to go off at 1, and I was there till 4:30 one night. So, I work a lot. I think I don't know what I did about.
That is not a kick-outable offense. At the very least, you buy the kid. So Roy said, I got kicked out of summer camp because I peed in a kid's canteen.
So?
Buy him another canteen. Why you got to get kicked out for that?
You know the aim that is required to pee into a canteen?
The what?
The aim that is required to pee into a canteen? The hole ain't that huge.
I mean,
that's malice. You gotta have malice in your heart. That's premeditated.
That's if you can't fit it into the canteen.
That's still premeditated though.
It just makes it easier if you just put it in there and pee.
Why you gotta that's aim? Cool, but that's still malice though. We're guys. There's a lot of ground around you. I'm sure there's some kind of greenery, some trees.
Yeah.
He hated this kid. He was like, yo. Yeah. Like, screw you, dude. Give me that canteen off you.
Lindsay had a nice mom. She said, I got soap in the mouth for cussing out classmate in 4th grade, which was my first year living in Buffalo.
Was it like when Kevin Hart did it?
Soap in the... My mom did that to me,
real?
too. Yeah.
I never got that.
Literally, here, put this in your mouth.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I've never done it.
Roy said I was about 10. I fit.
Got you. Respect.
Oh, she put it on a toothbrush and got you? Nah, nope.
Well, at least you getting your.
My mom made me put the whole bar in there.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
See.
When you do that, it part of it scrapes off on your teeth. So when you go to take it out, you still got to rinse your mouth out, and it's like the soap sticks to your teeth. So now you're trying to spend the next 15 minutes trying to rinse it out.
Well, Ken's done that to me.
Huh?
Ken's done that to me.
What? Brush
soap on my toothbrush, and I didn't know it. And you start to get a nice lather in there.
Oh yeah. This ain't the same toothpaste.
Is it Purell?
It's Purell.
is this exactly?
Yo, how is he still alive right now?
Yo, funniest kid ever. You seen him?
Yo,
You got problems.
you put hand soap on my toothbrush, man. You might have to go at that point.
Man, he ain't right. He ain't hinged.
Wow. Sunny Son Brian says, my mom didn't throw anything. She had my older sisters catch me and drug my
Yo.
to her, and then she whooped my. Yeah, that's crazy. She sent the hounds after you like that, like you. Yeah,
that's malice.
Yeah.
That's malice. That's malice.
She sent the guards after your behind. Get him, bring him to me. Like, nah.
I had a genuine fear of my mom.
I would just submit myself at that point.
Yeah, but I think they have to do that. They gotta instill that fear, and you like, yo, I don't know what she's capable of.
Right. Oh yeah. 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 That's it's a funny dynamic too in my household, because my wife, we call it 7 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. When she used to homeschool, I think this is it's 2020. Mm-hmm. When she used to homeschool, I would go to work, and then I would leave right from work, and most of the time I would go right to the studio because I had a client from 5 to 7, or from 5 to 9, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd get home at 9 o'clock, and almost every day it would be like, they've been getting on my nerves since 7 o'clock. So it just became a thing. Like, it's 7 o'clock because they're starting to get on her nerves, right? But the switch that goes off, mm-hmm. and the breadth of the range that gets covered in that split second when that switch turns off, where, okay, guys, look, listen, I need you to listen. Right. like she just turns into this deal. Like, the voice is like Bill Cosby and how he used to talk about it in that comedy show he did. Like, it's that's how it is.
Yeah, you better look here, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you one more time, and one time only. You start whispering, you start rubbing on your face. That's how you know it's over. You like, yo, I'm gonna tell you one time. Come over here. Come on, sit down. Sit down.
I'm gonna tell you the funny thing. I'm how my mom be doing. So like she'll talk to you in the most like she'll give you a look, but like she won't show you that she's mad. But
what, a mom look that you know?
Yeah. So like she'll smile at me.
Oh, she baiting you.
Yeah. So like she'll smile at you, and then she'll be like, yeah, do all this, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking she just
and then just swing on you, right?
Right.
Yeah, she used to do that in high school. That's what she did in high school.
Yeah, the smile is the one that you got to change real fast.
Yeah.
If you don't change, it's going to be some further actions.
Yep. Columbus Bully says, "Hey everyone, got here late. I'd rather a committee because okay. So just so you know, I put the question in the chat. Which would you prefer for your team? A true unstoppable number one wide receiver, or a group of good but underrated wide receivers?" Mm-hmm. So this is Bully's response. He said, "Hey, everyone got here late. I'd rather a committee because an unstoppable number one can be schemed against. With a committee, you have to defend the whole field every play." We don't have to get into that just yet if you don't want to, but if you want to respond to that, you can. You want to keep going through stuff we heard, or
yeah, let's finish stuff here real quick.
Okay, perfect.
Let's finish it real quick. Okay, so I'll speed through it. I saw on Twitter, X. They Xified me. A montage of Keon Coleman's highlights and making the point of refuting his lack of athleticism. Who said he was unathletic? People said he wasn't fast. There's a difference. I mean, he was an all-world basketball player. I know for a fact he scored 40 points or more 3 or 4 times in high school. He had 63 points in the game. He was a double-digit rebounder. The man played Division 1A basketball.
Right.
So who said he was unathletic? My point is, you can show all his highlights. None of his highlights showed anything that he has speed. None of them. But they all show that he can out-jump people, that he can out-body people, that he can out-muscle people, that he has a knack for making the big plays. But
Are we the only ones taking the offseason serious right now?
I
I mean, no disrespect to Cover One, but they took a vacation, month-long vacation. They won't be back for another couple of weeks.
Hey, if that's the case, and all the followers that are watching it right now, keep
yeah.
watching when they come back because we a family here. But yeah, stop it. I mean, stop it. What is that? Just because he's not fast doesn't mean he's unathletic.
And the funny part is we've been accused before of not knowing what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, compared to all this stuff that we're reading and seeing, you know, like these are who wrote this? Was this was a post?
This was a post by a known person.
You don't want to say it.
Fine, Greg Thompson. Greg Thompson said it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Come for me, at me, bro. No, but no, I mean, there's a big difference between athleticism and not being fast. We figure, I think they said D1 basketball players run a 4.9. That's a fast D1 basketball player, a 4.9 40. He runs a 4.7. So he was all world in basketball, and some people say basketball is the most athletically gifted group of talent there is. So how did he survive there, but now he's unathletic in football?
Right.
Who said that? You said that? Who did you hear? Please tell us. Speaking of that,
yeah.
Did you hear about Jazari Jackson?
Who?
Jazari, I hope I'm saying his first name right, but you'll hear about this guy. He's a 6'11", 322-pound basketball standout who committed to play football at Georgia as a 20-year-old freshman.
And do what?
He's playing tackle, I think.
Defensive tackle?
Offensive tackle, which made me laugh because we just talked about that. Remember when I said I was going to do that on Madden? I was going to make it.
I'm not gonna like I've watched him, you know, because actually he used to be a player under LeBron James because LeBron used to coach him back in high school.
Yo,
He's athletic.
my advice, get down to about 275
At 6'11"?
at 6'11",
Uh-huh.
and go play basketball.
Oh,
Don't even bother playing football. Stay. I get it.
No, he could if he wanted to play basketball at that size, he could. He's athletic as all get out. I mean, he really could be a
332.
D1. Yeah, at 6'11", yeah.
Who got signed by the Cavs, and he's like, he came out of Purdue.
Oh, Eddie?
But like as
Is
a
that Eddie?
coach, why would you put a guy that big
I don't know.
on the offensive line?
I mean,
Most quarterbacks are not Josh Allen's size.
right. I mean, I wouldn't put him on D-line, but I don't know what you would do with a guy that big.
You wouldn't
if
put him on D-line?
No.
Why?
Too big. His pad level was way too high.
Who is going to get in the way of 6'11", 322? Like, first of all, the arm length alone.
Right.
Like,
Like pad level, trust me,
before-
pad level for somebody even my height is ridiculous. I mean, then you got to remember these guys in D1 football, they clean and jerk 400 pounds and squat 600 pounds and they bench 5. So that's mitigated. 322 at 6'11" is nearly not that big. You know, I'm 293 right now and I'm 6'6". So you extrapolate that by height, he's going to get pushed backwards. I mean, that's just what it is. And plus, getting into a 3-point stance trying to attack. Now he can knock some balls down, easily, like you said, Russell Wilson or something like that trying to throw. But yeah, I just don't see.
Roy got the sauce today. He says at 6'11", maybe try tight end. I think that's a great idea.
He would be like, what's the guy? Well, Jason, what was his name? Jason, the guy we had, Peters.
Oh, Jason Peters.
Yeah, he was a tight end forever, and he switched over to left tackle.
I just would not want him on any of the I would prefer defensive line over offensive line if he had to play line. But I mean, if he's that nice in basketball, yeah, I don't think tight end would be out of the question.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I could see that as well. But 6'11", a hell of a catch radius. But man, that tackle box would be crazy. They can hit him everywhere. His pancreas is gone.
I mean, I get
My
it.
man's spleen is no more.
Like, think about it from an offensive line perspective. Like, how could he ever anchor enough to get in front of a guy like it? Like,
He'd be reaching.
That size. He's a right tackle. He has to be.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be.
Yeah, he'd be reaching all day long.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so many of the especially the defense, like the new age defensive ends that are out there now, the smaller, faster guys. They just go right between his legs at that point. Like, what?
That'd be funny having like a Elvis Dumerville or somebody like that.
Yeah, just crawl right between his legs. What is he gonna do?
Let's see. Did you see the latest interaction with Cole Beasley?
No, that's my guy.
He said, let's see. Cole Beasley said, give me 180 targets off of the couch and I eclipse 1,000 yards. Stop looking at stats and check the tape. As far as getting open goes, I'm confident I did that with the best of them. CeeDee Lamb said, I don't need 180 targets to touch the band. A band for you guys is 1,000 yards. Pull up tape. I match you route for route on getting open. Just chill.
Say what now?
Yeah, so Cole Beasley fired back and said, I don't need 180. If I had that, I'd easily get 1,000 yards off the couch. He basically is saying, if you throw me the ball 180 times, 1,000 yards is nothing, which is probably true. 180 targets with any kind of
anybody
hands.
getting 180, you got to get 1,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, get 1,000. Wow.
At least.
But, I mean, the fact that Cole Beasley just seeks anybody out and they say something and he don't care.
Right.
This dude,
I love that.
I do too. He don't care. I mean, I appreciate it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're talking about. If he has an opinion, he gonna give it to you.
Right.
Let's see. What else did I have? Side note, real quick. I thought I was almost done. Watch Dogs. When does it end? I'm only on Act 2, and this thing has like 7 acts to it. I've been playing it for months now.
Which
the
one?
first one. I'm about to throw in the towel.
Why?
Because I'm still on Act 2. I'm gonna be like 50 by the time I'm done.
No, aside from Legion, the first one is the best one. The second one is just meh.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one is, I'm like the storyline. It is. You just gotta be patient.
It's cool, but golly, I'm
I
trying to
didn't even
figure
do a
this
lot
thing
of the
out.
side missions on that one.
Huh?
I said I didn't even do a lot of the side missions on that one. I just went straight storyline on that.
Okay, you did. You know what it was? When I first started, I didn't realize I wasn't playing a storyline. I thought I was playing a storyline. I was like, yo, this game has no point. So then I was like, oh, there's a yellow circle. What does this do? Oh, that's when it starts.
Yeah.
Dang, I've been playing this for like 3 weeks now.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know.
See, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get caught up in like doing all the side missions and stuff, that can go forever.
I'm in
that
Act
stuff
2.
just-
I'm like, God. I looked at it yesterday. That says 6 acts.
Yeah. It actually does go pretty fast when you just stick to the storyline.
I'm gonna do that this weekend, I think,
Yeah.
because I don't have that much time left. College football 25 is coming out on Tuesday.
Oh, you getting it?
Am I? Am I? Man, I'm gonna be looking.
Get
mad
ready to
different.
not see Keyshawn on the show anymore.
Am I?
The man is gonna have like 17 cups of empty cold brew cups, like, or just hanging out around him in his room. He gonna be in some Hanes underwear in the middle of
That's
the
it.
in the
That's
middle
it.
of the rug in the living room.
Passed out on the floor.
That's it.
With control on my chest.
Hey, boss.
Like, remember the most of sick time I got? I'm cashing in.
I
I'll
was
see you
just
later.
about to say that month long of sick
I'm
time,
cashing
3
in.
months you got or whatever. Yeah,
I can't make it.
that's over with. Roy says Beasley would have had 1,000 yards if not for getting injured because of a BS pass from Barkley.
And that broken leg, he still came in and did work.
Yep. Laura says I loved Cole Beasley except when he put out that rap song. He did a what now? Why?
Because he's Cole Beasley. Yeah, he did.
Like, did some other artist like pull him in the studio? Like, yo, just hop on the mic, see what you
Decided
can
he
do.
was
Or
gonna, he just decided he was going to put one out. He had things on his chest. He had to get them off.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to look this up now.
You have to look it up. Don't play it on one copyrighted. But but yeah, Cole Beasley's a man of many talents.
It's
Let's
called
see.
80 Stings.
What is it?
The song is called 80 Stings. What kind of foolishness
You gotta
is
listen to
that?
it on the-
80 Stings?
Yeah, you got to listen to it and then tweet about it later.
I will definitely be tweeting about that
Yeah, tweet
later
about that
on.
later.
Holy crap.
I'm around for it.
Yo, Laura said it was trash.
I mean, I believe it. He can't be good at everything, but yeah, I believe it.
Man, okay. All right. Next topic.
Okay,
Where we
so
at?
my thoughts. Is Keon Coleman really one of the top 2 wide receivers on this team right now? Are we sure that he's not number 4, obviously including Shakir? Well, the reason why I say that is because if you listen to what Bean said last time he talked about Keon Coleman, and this is going to be kind of tacky because I'm trying to read it off of the Twitter transcript, so bear with me when I try to decipher what it's saying.
Okay.
Let's see. So he was asked about Keon Coleman in particular, what he's seen on him through OTAs. He said, Keon's worked hard like anything. And when I say he really said college playbook versus NFL playbook is a big difference. The verbiage where he lines up
the site adjustments and all the variances he's got to do, even just what we asked him in the run game. For our guys, I don't know specifically what he's been asked there. There's some schools that, are very little. There's very little. It's just they don't run. They don't ask the wide receivers to run block. Basically, they just pass. He said, "That's not what we do here. You got to be involved." He said, you got to be involved in all phases. So I see him working hard. I see him being competitive, but you just got to know his personality is genuine, and he's really trying out there. He said he's working with Josh to try to get the rapport down and understand his assignments. So
Okay.
Obviously it wasn't McDermott. McDermott wouldn't give you all that. But
Right.
my estimation is, could we be talking about a world where Samuel is number 1, MVS is number 2, Shakir in the slot, and Coleman eventually coming in? Almost in that Gabe Davis role 3 seasons ago.
To be honest, I would swap out Shakir and Samuel and probably feel a little bit better about that, just based on what they say or what it sounds like, based on what they say they want to do with Samuel. But
That's actually, I don't want to cut you off, but that's actually what they have as the initial depth chart
is
on
Samuel
PFF.
first?
They got Shakir outside and Samuel in the slot.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm actually very happy with that. If it just so happens that Coleman can beat out MVS for that number 2 spot, I'd be even happier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need Coleman to be the number 1 this year. I really don't.
Right.
I need him to come in, develop, learn the game at this level, and then come out next year and just dominate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would be happy if that is the lineup with Coleman starting. What I don't want to see is Coleman on the bench for half the season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He needs to be out there. He needs to be learning through experience, not through classroom. Mm-hmm. Classroom doesn't teach you the speed of the game. It doesn't put you in a position to have to process what you've learned at the speed of light when you're, when a play is only lasting 3 to 5 seconds tops.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I think I asked that question because I thought about how poignant everybody was. He said he's the X. Bean said, this is our X.
Yeah.
Day one, this is the X. But then after you saw him work out with the team, it's kind of funny how he kind of walked it back in the last interview of the OTAs before they broke for the oncoming training camp. Yeah, like we just said, I pulled up Pro Football Focus right now. Shakir, Samuel, Valdez-Scantling with Kincaid at tight end. That's what they have as opening day right now.
I'd be happy with everything except MVS starting.
Yeah,
I think MVS needs to be at this point in his career. I think he needs to be one of those, specialty guys that comes on the field to make downfield plays or something like that. Like I don't need him to be on the field all the time. You still have Claypool if you can't have Coleman on the field, then Claypool needs to be the next guy starting. But for some reason I have a feeling because of MVS's status as a Super Bowl winning wide receiver and his playoff performances and stuff like that, I think he's just going to get the benefit of the doubt for some reason, which sucks. But Roy, you are mistaken, sir. He says, wait, you think MVS will outperform Shakir? The slander tonight is nauseating. No, we didn't say that. I don't think I said that.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think
we're talking about MVS over Coleman.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I like. You even said I don't want that, but that's something I could see happening.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, it's the one thing that I hate that is probably the biggest part of all this that I don't think people talk enough about, based on what was read in the Tyler Dunn report, based on what I've learned about how things operate at One Bills Drive, politics does play a big role in who stays, who goes. You know what I mean? Relationships with other players. That a lot of that stuff matters more than your talent and skill level on this particular team and in this franchise. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist in other places. It just, you know, based on some of the other teams that I've you know, read about or you know, kept up with, it doesn't seem like it happens to this magnitude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, guys like Diggs get traded and you know, guys like MVS coming off of, you know, one of the best performances in his entire career, which I think really only happened for 2 years of his entire career, where he was, you know, average, if not slightly better than average. Mm-hmm. I mean, that to me is what, for no other reason other than he has a Super Bowl ring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if he gets cut, then I know this team is serious about winning.
Right. Yeah.
If he does not get cut, I have serious questions about their talent evaluation, because I don't think he's better than 4 of the other receivers we have on this team. I don't think he's better than 2 of the other receivers on this team, which if he gets the number 2 spot would say he's better than at least, you know, yeah, he's better than 2 other receivers. You know what I'm saying? Because the slot guy is the number 3, and then whoever's at number 4, he's better than that person too. So
I'd take a healthy Hamler over him. I do.
Yeah. Roy said, I thought I heard Samuel, then MVS, then Shakir. In that order, I was about to have a cardiac.
No, I can't lose you, Roy. I can't lose you there.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have a coronary.
He actually was right. Initially, when you gave the lineup, you did say Samuel, then MVS, then Shakir in the slot.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah,
but I know
right.
that's not what,
right.
like, that wasn't referencing the roster.
No, that was just how they had it lined up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just
I'm sorry. I'll go from left to right next time. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you there. Yeah. I wasn't thinking. But yeah, no, I honestly, I really have a hard time with not wanting one of or both of really, what's his name? Hamler and what's the big guy we keep talking about? I forgot that fast. From Pittsburgh, Claypool.
Yep.
I would love to see both of them on this team. I really would.
Claypool and
Hamler.
Yeah.
I mean, if Hamler is healthy, and he had pericarditis, so that was his health issue before. You know, if they can keep him on the field, he's a good wide receiver, man. And I don't want him to be a number 1 guy. I would love to see him playing. You know, he could be the MVS role if you really want that speed guy.
Just let him be the 4 on this team.
Yeah,
just let him be the 4.
Make the team somewhere he's going to give you someone kick returns, punt returns, and let him do that and fill in as your wide receiver. I mean, how can you lose? Right. But I just want him to get a fair shot. And Claypool, yeah, all things considered, he should be that. How can I say this without Rory having a heart attack? That other wide receiver outside of the locked in Shakir.
Yeah. Lindsay says, are any of you going to a training camp practice or a game at St. Fisher's?
I am going to a training camp. Me and Melly Mack are going to, I think, on the 29th.
Yeah, I think all of those are happening at times I have to work.
Yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday at 9:45. So I just took the day off.
Okay.
Yeah, Ken's got to go too. He doesn't care, but he doesn't even know yet.
I may be able to go. It's at 9:45. That's gonna be tough because it's Rochester, right? It's like an hour and a half drive. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make that.
Yeah, I gotta get Ken up. So that midnight bedtime is gonna be something else. That's gonna be on me that night.
Right. Laura says, I just like to shout out Mac for suggesting Mac Hollins get clear cleats that look like his bare feet.
No.
That was both hilarious and ingenious.
No, why don't you just spray paint his feet on his cleats then?
What would that too?
You could do that. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
He could. You know what would be even better? If the clear cleats were like those shoes that have the toes like cut into them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
shoes that look like feet with his feet in them, but clear.
And if I was a cornerback, I'd just right on the joint. By the end of the game, his feet be no more. Why?
This man is staunchly against toes being out.
I'm against it.
I wore sandals today, just so everybody knows. So I'm sure I pissed him off immediately as he walks.
I looked at my man from
2 days in a row. That's true. He been keeping count.
I looked at my man from the ankles up to that. I said, I see where we going today. He got the car. He watching. I said, I don't even know if I'm going in today.
Yep.
Might be a solo show.
Ashy ankles and everything.
Hey, I didn't observe. I didn't observe. All I did was know he ain't got no socks and no shoes on. I saw his footwear was the same color as his shin. So I said, nope, not doing it. He walked in proud too. I said, man.
Oh yeah. I ain't
guy.
got no shame about it. Listen,
This
I ain't
guy.
going nowhere in particular.
Oh, I ain't mad at you. Hey,
Listen,
I'm not gonna clown you. I'm just not
lotion,
doing it.
lotion is for y'all.
I
Lotion
lotion.
is for y'all. Like if I put lotion on, that's for y'all.
What
that
is-
ain't for me.
Hey, I
like,
lotion for myself. I be
The
in house with
the
this.
body was already good at moisturizing itself before lotion existed. Just so we know.
Yeah,
Just so we clear on that.
You don't lotion, you need some ointment.
Laura says she's doing her pedicure as we speak. Yeah, I know. I gotta cut my nails.
Tell Matt to get one too.
He
Not
don't.
Melly, Mac Hollins.
Oh, Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
You don't
Tell
think
him-
he? You don't.
Probably does. He's
Have
got
you seen
excellent
his
feet.
nails?
No, I have definitely not seen his nails.
Why not?
His fingernails.
I mean, no, his toenails.
why the hell would I look at it? I don't want to look at his feet.
If you hate it enough, you gotta at least know what it
I'm not
looks like.
looking- No, I don't need to know. I just
You
need to know
can't-
he has two
no,
feet.
bruh. That's like saying I hate that person's haircut, but you don't even know what kind of haircut it is.
Nah, it's
You ain't
not
look hard
because
enough.
I know you got feet. Feet got, between 1 and 10 toes for the pair. I don't
somewhere
really,
between 1 and 10 toes.
Somewhere. I mean, you never know.
You think Mac Hollins might be missing a digit?
You never know. I mean, maybe he wants to show it off.
Really? You think somehow this man could play the game of football, possibly missing a digit?
JPP walks around with 3 fingers and he doing this thing. Hey.
That's completely different.
Hey,
You
he
talking
needs-
about
he
you
needs
hate the
hands
man's
to tackle.
feet being out.
He needs his hands to tackle. My old barber used to have 3 fingers too. He got it cracking.
Yeah, right.
He slid it right in there. Boy.
Yeah, it's not hard. That's not hard.
I'm not good enough.
Listen, surprisingly, cutting hair is more about the wrist than the fingers.
Okay.
It really is.
It's like
more about the wrist than the
chopsticks.
fingers. Huh?
It's like chopsticks.
I
I mean, you just got to be. You slide it in the. He was a cold piece too. He used to eat a
no, because
cheeseburger.
chopsticks is mostly hand.
Yeah, but
chopsticks
you gotta
mostly
hold them a certain way.
I usually hold the bottom one with like these fingers, and the other one is like here, and I could just kind of use it like a.
Yeah, it's a weird way to do it, but
Yeah.
neither here nor there. Yeah, no, I'm not looking at his feet. Don't know what he got going on down there. I just know he has, they're probably the same color as his face and hands, and they're probably like a size 14 or 15. I'm guessing. Hey,
He's a little bit shorter than you.
yeah, but I got
Much
little, I
smaller
got
than
little
you.
feet.
Huh?
I got little feet for my size, so
What size you wear?
12.
That's that, brother. I wear 12. That's
Steph
little
Curry,
feet. That's
Steph
little
Curry
feet.
wears a 13 and a half.
He's 6. Well, he's 6'3". Yeah, he's 6'3".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, LeBron wears like a 15 or 16.
Well, he's also 6'9".
Dwayne Wade wears like, I think he wore 15.
He's 6'4".
Right, and I'm 6'6", and I wear 12. My dad made fun. He said, "Yo, if you had bigger feet, you could jump higher."
Yo, right, Roy, right.
What is Roy slandering now?
He said, "F chopsticks, forks rule."
Well, there you have it.
Right.
There you have it.
That is enough of this chopstick slander that's going on around here.
Slander everything.
All this chopstick propaganda y'all putting in my face.
Roy gonna
I
write
don't
the
need
thing-
this at all.
We're gonna write the thing. Fuck you mean? Watch.
Yeah,
Watch.
you're
He gonna do it.
Oh my gosh. Roy says I'm 5'10" and wear a 13 wide.
See, I got him by almost a foot, and I'm still. See,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the thing, and I could probably even get into 11 and a half.
Wow.
It depends on the shoe. It depends on the shoe. I do.
You know
have
what I used to do? I used to wear 11 and a half for years.
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing size 12 since I was 12. But
Me too.
I
Really, me too.
yeah.
Yeah. I've been at 12 since I was 12, and my feet didn't grow.
But what I would do is I started wearing 11 and a halves because it actually caused the shoe to crease less. Because it was less, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like when I wear a 12, it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My foot fits very comfortably into the shoe. 11 and a half, it's like just on the verge of being too tight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because it's that way, it kind of keeps the shoe, stabilized, and it didn't crease as much. And when we was in high school, if your shoes creased up, it's time to get a new pair at that point. Like that's just what it was. Huh? Yo, for real, it's a real thing.
Yo, Mac
so
Hollins takes foot pics. I scroll real fast because I put Mac Hollins shoe size, and I saw feet.
I said, nah.
Yo, that's a problem. He takes pictures of his feet. Oh, why they look like that?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Just look at it.
But he also hates cats, huh?
Just look at it.
I'm not looking at it. I'm trying to find out what size shoe he wears.
Wait, scroll up real quick.
You
Why do his feet look like that? This man, I mean, you could tell he's got like
just Google it.
like
Just
cat,
Google
like it
it.
looks like callousing around the balls of his feet.
No, Father.
Huh.
Enhance that picture.
No.
Enhance it. You want me to
I'm
click
over
on
here.
it?
Get it off my screen. 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 He's cut. He can't make my team. Why?
Yo, I literally enlarged the picture of this man's feet on the screen, and Keyshawn is like bleeding from the eyes right now.
I can't see this. No.
Yo.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh my God. Yo, there is no way. There's no way feet can affect you like that. How is that possible? I've never seen anything like that in my life.
For me at one time.
Not only can his feet never be revealed to another human eyeball, but he can't look at other people's feet.
It was too much for me at one time. Oh God.
Oh, yo, okay, all right. Listen,
Get this off my
anytime I need to borrow some money, I know what I got to do now. Just send you a text message with some feet in it.
It's that time. No, it ain't.
Oh my gosh. Cash at me now or this is going to be all day, sir.
It's gonna be leaked. No.
Be in the middle of a business meeting at work.
Like
all of a sudden, doo-doo, you
like
flip
what
your
the
foot up.
God? Like you mother
Yep.
feet on my phone.
Oh,
Why
my
are the feet on my
gosh.
phone?
Look, yeah, you do got to look that up, Laura. Laura said, nah, I got to Google these raggedy feet. Chris, OG Chris, what's going on, OG Chris?
Yo, you see they torturing me today? Roy hit me for Ghostlander. Roy hit me for Ghostlander. A hit me for feet on my screen. This is craziness.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell him to enhance it so you can look at it.
Yeah.
He did it. He had the executive decision.
Listen, OG Chris says, stop making my mom hostile talking about wait until your dad gets home. Yo, that's a real thing. I tell my wife to say it all the time. Like, look, if they acting a fool, tell them I'm coming home with the belt. Like,
yeah, people, I'm gonna tell you, they were no. I'm like, boy, I ain't even touch you. Get out of here.
Whoa, Roy. Oh, okay, hold on. You ready?
Oh,
you ready?
God.
Roy says, come on, Key. Women can do special things with their feet.
They not Mac Holland's feet though. he don't know. Yo, he got a connection because it's a woman. It's a woman, so he's like, he don't know
that's
what to
true
think.
too. That's true too.
He's like burning inside. He's combusting.
I definitely am. I'm furious.
The funniest part about this is people don't know the producer is 20 years old. He don't know what to do with himself right now.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Women can do some very special things with their feet.
They can. They can walk.
Yeah.
They can run. They can jump. They can.
All of that stuff.
All true.
All wonderful things
Yes.
with their feet. Yes. Yep. Very much so. If that's your thing.
If that's your thing.
Some people
Rex
don't
Ryan?
like feet at all.
Some people don't.
Like, can T put her feet on you?
Yes.
She can.
Yes.
And you can look at her feet.
Yes.
And you have no.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty. So it's just other men's feet.
Probably. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm gonna send it to you later on.
I've seen things and I'm like, I can't unsee it.
Send him Shaq's feet, bro.
No.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I've seen that.
Yes.
No, LeBron too.
Really?
LeBron too.
LeBron's feet is terrible.
Yeah. No.
Yo,
Ashy 100%.
Yeah, I don't want to see none of that. I don't want no part of none of that.
Caitlin got caught up in looking at. So where did she see this at? I think it was Instagram or one of those sites, but like you know how the doctors be posting like surgery videos and stuff like that, or like they be breaking up crusty feet and opening up people's nails and stuff like that, and be all that gunk up in the middle of there.
Yep.
Yeah, it like she started watching it, and I looked, and surprisingly, I couldn't take my eyes off it.
Yeah, no, my coworker did that, and I said, flip your phone the other way.
Right. It's disgusting. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things where it's like she had it on her phone and she was watching it. And I'm like, what are you
New.
looking at?
I see. That's the same. I don't know if you know who Dr. Pole is.
No.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Dr. Pole?
Dr. Pole, Pol. He's an animal. He's a veterinarian. He goes on house calls and he deals with larger animals. And I mean, this dude, he be doing some wild stuff. I'm like, yo,
like what?
Nothing. I mean, well, his main thing is putting his arm in cows' butts.
Oh, it was on TikTok. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not with it. He just be like fascinated. Even when he'd be like, "Ken, you want to watch Dr. Paul?" He'd be like, "No." Ken be like, "Why are you watching this?" He walk out the room. He get out of there.
OG Chris says it's because of Christmas Story, the reason why we got soap in your mouth. Dang you, Ralphie. Dang you, LOL. Yeah, that's that. I guarantee that's where parents got the ideas from, because that was their generation too. That movie. Roy says there are some very nasty feet exposed during summer.
Mm-hmm. They got that heel part that they don't get shaved off. Anyway, what's the show about? What are we talking about today?
No, I want to hear about all this nasty foot stuff you be seeing.
It's man, some people just shouldn't be wearing sandals or flip flops.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty much.
Do
it.
I need to put my feet on top of it?
No, you don't need to do that. No, you don't need to. You don't need to relax.
Yeah, Caitlin, she cut my nails. She filed them down and all.
Oh
that.
man,
Yeah.
see she get in there, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
She won't do that.
Why?
Oh, she don't touch feet.
So the one person in the world
Right.
that can possibly see, like not even like
She hates feet.
She won't touch your feet.
Dude, my back went out one time. She washed me from my waist to my ankles. And then she left the room. Wait, no, it gets better. She left the room, came back with gloves on. I'm like, yo. She's like, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, yo. I can't believe, I'm thinking, I'm your guy. I don't do that with you. I've watched you when you had your surgery, whatever. But here we go. My back's out. I can't bend over. I can barely stand.
How does she do what she does for a living, but she can't touch feet?
I don't know.
That's incredible.
I think she said they got the loofah or whatever. I don't know.
Lindsay says, here's a fact about feet. Stick your feet in brewed tea, cool to the touch, and it takes the stank out your feet.
Brewed tea, huh?
Brewed tea.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna give it a shot?
I mean, I don't have a stank, but yeah. I got the I put deodorant on there,
You put deodorant
I spray with
on your
deodorant.
feet?
Yeah, in the summertime.
On your feet, bro?
In the summertime, to spray deodorant, yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to just let them out?
Well, I'm at work. When I got to go to work or something like that, I can't walk around my job like Mac Holland barefoot, so I got to.
I mean, you the only dude there. Well,
Why?
who cares?
Yes. I mean, I don't think the patrons would be upset. So, no, I don't do. I do it when I got to go to the late in the night job, because I got to do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And I can't find ventilated shoes that that I really like. So whatever.
All right. Well, let's. It's 7:50. It's almost time to get out of here. So.
What, you don't want to indulge more foot talk?
Well, if it comes back, then
God.
we'll do it. But we seem to be reaching a transition point. Real
Yes,
quick,
we are.
Laura says, since we're family, I think it's time for Key to show them feet.
I don't think
we
so.
can debate on them. LOL. We get it's
Hey,
about
yo,
time.
somehow.
Why is that an yo?
Just because I'm uncomfortable. No.
He's sitting there covering himself up. Why do you want to see
Just
my
I'm
feet?
trying to. I got to double sock up next time.
Lindsay said deodorant doesn't work.
It does if you use the right one. I
So-
use what do I use? I gotta look it up. What is it?
There's actual feet spray that potential feet.
I have
Yeah,
I
you
have
gotta
I
spray it
have
in
I have
your
that as well.
shoes.
I have that.
You spray it in your
too.
shoes too, or just?
Huh?
So you got the kind you spray in your shoes and on your feet, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I don't like no Glee roll on or anything like that. Just trying to roll. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Yo, I honest opinion. I really thought that was the kind of stuff you would use. Like with how careful you are with your feet. I really
I'm in there painting my feet with Glade roll.
Right? That's what I thought was going down.
Use some Tussie or something like that.
So what?
Tussie. You don't know what Tussie is?
No.
That's the kind that you got to use your finger in the canister. And yeah.
What?
Just, yeah, Tussie.
And it's called Tussie?
Tussie.
Wow.
Like the like and put a like in there if you ever heard of Tussie before. I'm about to rock this man out. Look at this.
No. My wife is saying time to order some Ree's tea. Not for putting your feet in. You got to put that in your belly. You don't put your feet in that.
I mean, it could work. Tussie.
Why?
Tussie.
Where did they get the name from?
I don't know. This is old. Tussie is old. This is old.
You know what I need to put on my feet tonight, baby? I need some Tussie.
Yep.
You need some what?
Yep. Like, nah, not that. I need some Tussie.
Yeah, right. My Allie would be like, yo.
Tussie's cream. Yep. Tussie's cream deodorant.
Yo, Dad, you guys said
No, ain't no way. Roy says Dr. Scholl's foot powder. I don't know nothing about that. I keep my feet out so they can breathe and they never got to deal with no stank. Okay, all right. So I'll just refresh your memory in the chat. Mm-hmm. The question was right on to the topic of the night. The question was, which would you prefer for your team? A true unstoppable number one wide receiver, or a group of good but underrated wide receivers?
Okay. Well, we've seen the true unstoppable number one. Where'd that get us? Nowhere.
Are you sure we've seen the true unstoppable number one?
Yeah. I mean, you talking about a what, triple digit receptions, mid to low mid 1,000-yard reception receiving seasons, four straight. I mean, you had the game plan against him, and he opened up the field for everybody else while still going for big numbers. I mean, yeah, it's not Tyreek Hill, it's not, Justin Jefferson, but yeah, I mean, he was dominant. When you figure there was nobody, what would happen if we had another number two on the team? What would he have been if we had somebody else that could possibly take some attention away from him? I think you'd be talking about somebody with 1,800 yards in the same vein as you do with Tyreek Hill and the other ones. But when you say a true number one or a group of middling guys, is there, with the number one, is there a decent number two, or is there like just Gabe Davis? Sorry, Mel.
Doug Farrar was on, and I'm going somewhere with this, so just bear with me.
I'm here.
Doug Farrar was on One Bills Drive, and he actually gave a pretty good description of what a true number one receiver is, and it's basically a guy that, despite the bracketing, despite the double team, despite whatever the defense does, this man can assert his will on the field. It's a guy that can get open when he needs to get open. He can beat press man coverage. He can run really good routes and get open against man coverage. He can find holes in the zone to sit down and get open. Just a true unstoppable threat in the purest sense of the term or the phrasing. And when he said that, I'm like, I know when we talked about it, we kind of beat around the bush of that definition when we talked about what's a true number one wide receiver. But I think that's a very, very good description of what it is, a guy like a Justin Jefferson, or a guy like a Cooper Kupp in his prime, or a guy like Jamar Chase, or you know what I mean? Like these guys that just, no matter what you do, they're going to get their numbers no matter what. And the only thing that's going to stop them is bad quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? So by that definition, I would have to say we had a number one receiver for
three to four.
Like
last year was
3
not.
years. Last year was not that by any means.
I mean, even last year you got 1,000. What do you have, 1,100 yards last year or something like that? So
yeah, but I mean, again, with what CeeDee Lamb was talking about, 180 targets, 1,000 yards, it only took Steph Diggs, what, he had 100 or something close to that?
Yeah.
To hit 1,100. So all of that is to say, I think when it comes to what a number one receiver is supposed to be, I don't think you need to worry about if the number 2 receiver is there. You know what I'm saying? Because Cooper Kupp did it by himself. Devontae Adams did it by himself when he was in Green Bay. He almost never had a number 2 receiver with him, but he still put up major numbers with Aaron Rodgers. Calvin Johnson never had a number 2 when he was the top dog in Detroit. And there, guys like Randy Moss, like I'm talking about like true unset.
Well, I mean, you name them off, but you're not naming any that won a Super Bowl. Until I say you're not naming any that won Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's the problem for me. I mean, to answer the question, of course you want that number 1 dominant Justin Jefferson, but am I going to win? I mean, it's fun to watch it, but what am I going to get to win? So when everybody
Cooper Kupp won.
Well, yeah, he won. But when you're looking at, like you said, Calvin Johnson, you're looking at Justin Jefferson's, people like that, they haven't even sniffed a conference championship yet. It's beautiful to have, but it's easy to not take away, but it's easy to game plan.
Yeah.
And so that's why I asked, do you have a number 2? You don't have to have, a T. Higgins at number 2 or something like that, but just a reliable guy that can beat you if he has to. And I think that's the component to the number 1. Now, if you have a group of middling guys that nobody heard about, which we have now, I know we talked about kind of comparing to Green Bay. In my mind, I thought about it, and I said, okay, we have that, but we don't. Because when you look at Green Bay, they're young. They're all young. So there are a whole bunch of nobody. Well, not nobodies. They had guys that had, 90 targets, 60, 70 receptions, and Romeo Dubs and whoever the other guy was. But, I want to win. So if you're talking about what'll get it done for me, is the ability to take our number 1 away and make him a 60 or 70-yard guy in the game and still win the game because the other guy took over. Yeah. And that's what got Cincinnati their success. That's what got Kansas City's success forever. We know about Travis Kelce. Yep. But MVS, nobody thought about him. Nobody thought about Rashee Rice. Nobody thought about what's the other guy? Mecole Hardman. Yeah. Because they didn't care. But sometimes somebody else will step up. And Steph just never really had anybody. We got Dalton Kincaid now just stepping up, but that was the wrong year. That was Steph's down year,
So this is actually, let me get to this comment real quick. So Laura said, Laura says, I voted based on how our team is this year. Poll was a setup. I'm in the minority.
Sorry.
It's kind of a setup, but actually it was a setup for something completely different.
I think I'm with you, though. I think I'm in the minority with you.
Huh?
I think I'm in a minority.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about this question when I asked it, and I think a big inspiration for it was Kansas City, because at the time when they had Tyreek Hill, they also had Travis Kelce, and when actually the year they won it, was that the Kareem Hunt year? They had Kareem Hunt that year.
You're talking about when they had Tyreek?
Yeah, when they had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, did they have Kareem Hunt that year? They might have. I think they did. I don't remember who was the running back there when they won it, but anyway, my point in all that is, one of the things that Kansas City was very underrated in doing was they would match their run scheme with their pass schemes, and the way that they ran the ball was very strategic, but it was kind of like a lot of it happened out of some of the passing formations that they used. So it was almost, they caught you off guard with it most times. And they oftentimes put themselves in a position where they didn't have to get into traditional run formations to get the yards that they needed in the run game. They used the run to keep defenses honest against their dominant pass game, right? So I'm saying all that to say, if I have a true number 1 and I can match that with any other weapon, it could be a tight end or a number 2 receiver or a great running back, I think every team needs to have a great punch and then a counter punch for whatever the defense tries to do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it needs to be a number 2 receiver per
Right.
se. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to answer this question, I think I would prefer an unstoppable number 1 wide receiver, because for me that simplifies things for my offense. Yes, it does make what the defense is going to do, very focused and very easy, for them to figure out what to stop. But if I'm smart enough and I'm creative enough and I can figure out how to use some of the other weapons on my team, and I can use that unstoppable number 1 receiver as a decoy as needed,
Right.
then I can set up some great stuff on offense with play calling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Andy Reid got into when he knew he had Tyreek Hill in the pocket. He would dink and dunk Travis Kelce, whoever else he had running the ball and stuff like that, and then boom, hit you over the top with Tyreek Hill as soon as you started, trying to focus on stopping the run game. You know what I'm saying? Or if you were trying to focus on double teaming Kelce or something like that, and you brought a safety down because he's tearing you up for 5 yards every time he catches the ball. Now all of a sudden that safety creeps down. You got single coverage on the outside, and boom, there goes Tyreek Hill for 6. Mm-hmm. So I think that brings home the number 1 wide receiver for me, as opposed to having a good group of receivers, but you're not sure if they're going to. And I'm not saying this has to be, the stipulation for a good group of wide receivers. But in my mind, when I think of a group of good wide receivers but underrated, I think of a group of guys that some games they might win their matchups, some games they might not. Based on who we're playing, are they going to be able to find a hole in that zone, or are they? You know what I'm saying? They're not going to. I don't know if I can count on all 5 of my guys every single game, but I can see how the advantage of having a group is, you never know who to cover. You never know who to stop. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I think for me, I would take the number 1.
I mean, I think I take it back to the 2020 season with the Bills. When we had Stephon Diggs was his best year. But to think about it, I know he's gone. I get it. And I've been a proponent of saying stop talking about him. But to drive the point home, his best year, he had 1,500 yards. But that was 2020. If he was off, who would he have? Cole Beasley was right there. Oh, yeah. So that's kind of that number 2 I'm talking about, because when Diggs was blanketed, when he was bracketed and he couldn't get off, Beasley was right there. Right. You had Gabe Davis had 600 yards that season. John Brown was somewhere waiting in the wings for 458. So if you're telling me you're going to give me what we had outside of those I mentioned, Isaiah McKenzie, you had Andre Roberts, you had
Dawson
Jake
Knox
Kummerow.
Was getting catches that year. I said Dawson Knox was getting
Dawson
catches
Knox,
that
but
year.
you had Jake Kummerow.
No, he didn't get a lot of burn that year.
No, but that's the thing. That's your wide receiver room outside of Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. There was nobody. Yeah. So that's your supporting cast. That's like the Pips and Gladys Knight.
Right.
So, I mean, if you say I want a dominant number 1, that's cool. But if you got nothing else, they're gonna go ahead and triple team the guy, or put all. And unless you got Calvin Johnson, you got this 6'11", 322-pound guy that's out there, or they catching balls over guys like they're little kids. Yeah. It's hard to do when that's all you literally have is that one guy.
Right.
So that's why I say you got to have a second option, even if it's Dalton Kincaid, a running back, and James Cook, somebody like that.
Laura says, I wish I knew the percentage of games star wide receivers played versus injury bench games. With healthy good luck, like with Diggs, it's great. One injury, not so good.
And that's one thing I always said. We are so lucky. Everybody talk about Josh and this and that. I said it last show, and it's not a slight on Josh. You're not a competitor. You're not guaranteed anything just because you have 17. He's the at worst top 2 quarterback in the league. But who's he throwing to? Who's blocking for him? Yeah. Because those are things that people don't think about when they say, as long as you got 17, we're good. That's not true, because you put these turds in front of you, got a massacre happening.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a good point. You want
so that's the
away
thing.
From being a bad offense.
Yeah, and when Stephon Diggs, if he would have missed a game, you had Isaiah McKenzie in the slot. You had Andre Roberts. You had Cole Beasley, John Brown. How good would that game have been?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I'm saying when he said, when it got leaked, he said, I didn't think we'd ever win in Buffalo. I didn't think we could win it.
Yeah. Yeah. Lindsay says, Aramis, I'm with you about Chase Claypool. If he can be the number 1 or 2 beating out MVS with Samuel and Shakir and Sprinkle and Coleman, I would be much more optimistic about this season. Yeah, I agree. I want to get to the poll
Yeah.
was to introduce the debate between the two sides, but as Laura kind of alluded to, it was kind of a setup, because what I really want to get into is very interesting, right? I think the Bills have copied the Green Bay Packers in a sense for what they're doing with their wide receivers over there in Green Bay. They have 5 guys that they drafted that can all play. They can all run routes. They can all catch the ball. They're all solid starters, right? And if they wanted to, they could go 5 wide all day long and live a very good life off of that. You know what I'm saying? But they also went out and got Josh Jacobs. So now you have to respect their run game with a running back that can do everything instead of having to bring in an A.J. Dillon and an Aaron Jones to do 2 separate jobs, right? So what that does is that gives them the ability to stay in certain formations and do a lot of things out of a less, how can I say this, a less numerous amount of, that might be an oxymoron.
I'm gonna let you write it out, right?
A lesser amount, I know, I'm trying to articulate it, a lesser amount of formations, just more plays out of a lesser amount of formations, right? So, but I do think this is going to become a trend throughout the NFL because of the salary cap implications. When you don't have a number 1 wide receiver, you don't have to worry about your quarterback taking up 30% of your offensive salary. And then on top of that, your wide receiver taking up another 26% of your offensive salary if you're spending, $100 million or more on your entire offense. If teams end up doing that, I think it's going to effectively recreate the running back wave that ended up happening when Le'Veon Bell went on strike. Everybody just decided, like, look, we'll put 2 or 3 guys in a room, and they'll all get carries. We're not going to put one guy in a position to get the numbers anymore to be able to justify these enormous contracts that they're getting. That's how you kind of mitigate that salary growth or that bubble that just continues to inflate year after year, especially after we've seen what Justin Jefferson just got paid. Like, to combine that with what Josh would be making a year, I mean, you gotta keep in mind, Josh's contract is going to get restructured. He's not going to get paid 60, but he might get paid 40. And if he's getting paid 40 or 45 or 50, you know what I'm saying?
He's gonna have to pay the piper at some point. It's coming soon.
Right. So if Josh is let's just say Josh is getting paid 50, and we got a Justin Jefferson on our team was making 26. Like, where's the rest of the offense how are you going to build an offensive line with that?
I mean, and the thing about that is you got to think in mind it would be the draft, but how do they draft? They don't draft to play people.
Right. So I wanted to kind of get into just figuring out where people are with that. Do you want to see this new wave of, your teams going with wide receiver by committee, where they focus more on the draft and they might get, they might get that first guy in the first round, and then after that they go, second, third, fourth, fifth round, whatever, to kind of fill out the other wide receiver roles, but they never truly invest in keeping around a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. It's kind of just, if you want to get your money, somebody else will pay you. We'll just kind of keep, shooing in the next guy to kind of fill out the spots, and we'll keep drafting. And because we have a good quarterback, we can make that work. You get what I'm saying? So, Chad, I mean, let me know if that's what you want to see with the Buffalo Bills, because we've kind of taken after that Green Bay model, and I started to think, maybe it was a copy of the KC model, but technically, they still have a number 1 receiver in Kelsey.
Well, I wanted to say, if you look at our roster, young talent alone, we have 8 guys under 25. Out of those 8 guys, 4 of those guys are undrafted.
Okay.
So where are you investing in Josh Allen's weapons? You're spending money on Mac Hollins, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Andy Isabella, Curtis Samuel, and even Chase Claypool, who's 26. Everybody else is 26 or above. 25 or below, Brian Thompson, KJ Hamler, Lawrence Keys, Xavier Johnson, Tyrell Shavers, Justin Shorter, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman. How many of those guys are making the team? So
6.
right, and I say this to say they're undrafted. They're guys that aren't going to make the team, but what are you going to do? You're going to go get more aging guys and pay them veteran contracts.
Yep.
That's why you can't afford to give Josh Allen $50 million and Justin Jefferson is $35.
Right.
Because if you know the draft and you wanted to play your drafted players, then you wouldn't have a problem doing that. Especially, if you want to win now.
Yep.
But instead, you go ahead and you get a Von Miller guy because you don't have a scouting capacity to go ahead and get that next Von Miller, that next, I don't want to say loud, next Zach Martin or whoever. You want to pay him and then market him as the next guy when he's really not.
Right.
And then Buffalo's like, well, he sucks. No, he doesn't suck. They fed you a line that said this guy was excellent and this guy's going to help us right now, and they didn't do it.
Right.
When in all actuality, you look at the draft picks. We've been through the draft. I'm not going to rehash it. They don't draft. And when you said Green Bay, when you texted me earlier, I said, we're really not. We're really not like them because – they drafted those 4 or 5 guys that are dominating over there right now. You said they can run 5-guy sets.
Oh, yeah.
Our 25 and below, I think 2 of those guys are 23. 2 of those guys are 24, and one of them, or is it 2 25s, 2 24s, and 1 23, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Some variation of that. Once again, I'm going to read our 25s. Tell me the 5 that are going to be starters. Brian Thompson, KJ Hamler, Lawrence Keys, Tyrell Shavers, Xavier Johnson. Any starters? No. Justin Shorter, Khalil Shakir, 1.
Right.
Keon Coleman. That's your youth movement.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about a small room, of unknowns, they are old heads. We know them all. We've seen Marquez Valdez. We've seen Mac Hollins. We've seen these guys. And what I've seen from the majority of them, it's not great.
Right. Right. And, while it does put a lot of weight on the quarterback to have to manage all of that, at the same time, it's got its advantages. But I think to your point, it kind of I don't want to say destroys, but it kind of pokes a really big hole in Buffalo's plan, if that was their plan, to kind of follow what Green Bay is doing, because you're not drafting really good young wide receivers.
Right.
You only got one,
right. And
the one that you did invest in, the only reason he wasn't a first-round pick is because you couldn't afford a first-round pick.
Exactly.
And then, by the way, you had plenty of other needs plenty of other perceived needs that you thought you addressed in the draft. Mm-hmm. You drafted too many offensive linemen, in my opinion, when there were still wide receivers that could have been had there.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so that had you drafted another wide receiver at, let's say, in the 4th round, who'd they take in the 4th?
4th this year, that was Ray Davis was 3rd SVP.
No, he was 5th.
Was it Ulafaccio?
Oh yeah, I would have taken a wide receiver over Ulafaccio. I think it was. That the 4th round pick was him. But anyway, my point. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, I think it's more a matter of the Bills making clear what the plan is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Green Bay went into this thing, and let's be honest, I don't think it was their initial plan to draft 5 good wide receivers. They just drafted these guys because they thought they could play, and then it just so happened that every last one of these dudes can play when they got a shot, when they got a chance to play.
And Ray Davis is 4th.
Ray Davis is the 4th. Okay, yep. So maybe not the 4th.
I still would have did it.
I still would have did it?
I still would have did it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even a slight on Ray Davis. I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I just think that if they want to throw it, if they want to air it out, if they want some kind of talent, why not? I mean, James Cook, Ty Johnson, and you could have got, one of the lower guys later. I mean, I'm not saying you would have sold out for, Frank Gore or something like that, but there are other guys later that maybe not Ray Davis guys.
Right.
But I'd rather have that wide receiver for Josh over a running back.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If you had that wide receiver, drafted in whatever round, that second receiver that you would have drafted this year, that probably could have avoided the MVS contract. You know what I'm saying? And that would have given you another young talent that you didn't have to pay for another 3 or 4 years, tops.
Right.
So in 2026, you're essentially right back where you started, where 2 of these receivers are on 1-year contracts, right? Shavers, you're gonna have to figure out what you want to do with that, because he's gonna need a bigger contract next year.
Yep.
Who else? I think that's it as far as expiring contracts, right?
Oh, you talking about young talent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamler I think is on a 1-year deal.
He's a 1-year deal. Brian Thompson, I don't even know what he is. He's always on the practice squad.
Shorter I think is going to end up being a practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Shakir is what? He's got 2 more years?
Shakir, this is his 3rd year. He's got 1 more.
Yeah, so I mean, you got guys, you're going to next year you're probably going into the season with 1, 2, 3
Yep.
wide receivers still under contract.
That actually will probably produce this year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curtis Hingle will be 29. Keon Coleman will be 22. Khalil Shakir will be 25.
Right. So
that's it.
You're right back to square one, essentially, where you got to try to find a bunch of guys to throw in there. And now all of these guys you bring in have to now get acclimated, to working with Josh and to, being in a room with, Samuel and Shakir. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, where's the clear plan to all of this?
Right.
And I know I stated Green Bay kind of tripped and fell into this situation, but they were looking for the next wide receiver to come in and be the number one guy. That's how they ended up with 5 guys that can play. You know what I'm saying? If you were focused on developing a pipeline through the draft, you might run into this kind of problem where, hey, we got too many guys that can play the receiver position. We don't need a number one.
Good problem to have.
You know what I'm saying?
Great problem to have.
Right. So, I think that's kind of the frustrating thing about it in this conversation, because you really can't choose between the two sides before you address that.
Right.
Because the Bills aren't like they don't think in the same way that the Green Bay Packers think, where they're focused on building through the draft and developing pipelines. They've always done that. And through almost the entire time that I've been watching the NFL, they've had great offensive line play.
Yep.
They've had either really good linebacker play or good defensive line play, or good secondary play. I've seen them have amazing players on defense at all 3 levels, right? Like at some point, I'm not talking about all at one time. At some point, they, because they invest mostly on offense. You know what I mean? They've always had great quarterbacks, so they always invested in offense. Great offensive line, great quarterback. Get that quarterback some weapons, and then get 2 to 3 really, really good defensive players. Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji. Like, you know what I mean? Like players like that. Like,
it was never patchwork. It was never just let's try it and see what's happening. This is bona fide. We see what's happening. We know where we at. And honestly, that's why the Bills drafts frustrate me. Yeah, they're solid. Yeah, Dwayne Carter's good, but you tell me there wasn't somebody that's more of a home run hit for what we need now.
Yep.
There wasn't somebody that we could do outside of Javon Solomon, who was a small town pass rusher with big numbers. There wasn't somebody else we could have made moves for. We had 12 draft picks. You're talking about aggressiveness. Everybody said the Bills they're not that aggressive. They're not that aggressive on the field. They're not that aggressive in the draft. They're not that aggressive in free agency. They're not. Yep. They're not. They don't sit on their hands per se. Bean does like to try to take risks sometimes. I give him that, but they're not this team that's revolutionary and you should be afraid of.
Right. Sinke says should have taken Troy Franklin over Ulafashio.
See, that's
was
the
he
thing.
there?
Yeah. Yeah, remember we were on Rico's show and we were like, "Oh, he's still there." Yeah, he's still there. I mean, they had Anaya Smith. They had
happy, but
Jamari Thrash was somebody I really liked it. When Jaquan Jackson, I had an outburst on when we passed on him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I mean, Taj Washington was there in the 7th round. Who's going to be a contributor? He played at USC. I mean, there's guys that we just passed on because we took, Ulafascios. We took even SVPG, too many letters. But, I mean, after the first 3 or 4 picks, I'm like, okay, we'll see. And that's not how you draft when it was this deep. You should have taken 2 wide receivers, hands down, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah. I'm not going to allow this, Laura. I promise I won't. I never have to this point, and I don't think it's going to happen. Laura says, Lord, keep getting fired. He can't even cop a plea because there's video. My car broke down, LOL.
No, I usually make it.
Yeah, because there's a blazing trail of fire from where you were driving.
From a 2022 Explorer. Pew!
Jeez. All right.
I put cold brew in the exhaust.
Huh?
I put cold brew in the gas tank.
That's what you put in the gas
That bad boy take off on you.
The chitty chitty bang bang of explorers is the one that drinks the cold brew.
It drinks the cold brew.
Yeah.
Like vehicle like that.
Where are we at here? All right. Let me see. I got to turn this down just a little bit. Little bit. Boom. Okay. There we go. All right. All right, if you're hearing that music, that means it's time for us to get out of here. Yeah, damn cold brew. She don't like caring about that.
Boy, you're going to. Sorry.
Right. Steve says this regime likes being safe, close, and conservative, a scared and loser mentality. Yeah, I agree.
Who said this?
Steve.
Oh, I knew it was Steve. I'm like, yo, anybody said they're going to be named Steve.
Right. I think there's only one person, Harvey or Harlan. There's another guy. His last name starts with an H or something like that. He kind of comes with comments like that too. But anyway, thank you everybody for hanging with us. It's off season. I know we get a little silly and stuff like that, but we have a good time here, and I think that's part of what brings us joy.
Part of the draw.
You know, makes this
Lindsay's
fun
mom
for us.
laughs.
Yeah.
Lindsay's mom laughs.
Yeah.
That works.
We're doing everything that we can to keep this interesting for you guys. So if you haven't done already, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing,
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
so you can get all the notifications that we put out. It's not a lot, but when we do, you need to be able to see them so you can stick with us and stay in tune with what we got going on. Listen, if you like basketball and you have not checked this podcast out already, our producer, my oldest son, Junie's got his own podcast. His views are constantly climbing. His subscriber list is climbing. So please like, subscribe over there too. It's Basketball Truth and Knowledge. And if you're not checking it out, you're missing out. With that being said, our links for our social media pages are in the description. Go ahead and click those and follow us on social media if you haven't already. We are back on track now with our shorts and our shorter long form posts, so that stuff is going to be coming back in waves now, so be on the lookout for that stuff too. Laura says, I love the new parts of this show. It's fun. Yeah, it's probably going to stick around. It's probably going to...
No, honestly, yeah. That's what we are. It's our personality. If you sit there, you watch Locked On Bills, you watch Cover One, they're going to hit you with the facts. You're going to watch it for an hour and a half. Like, I didn't laugh at all. I feel like I just took a test.
Right.
We're going to give you a little of that, but we're going to give you a little who we are as well, because we are some laughing. We crazy over here.
This is how
Y'all
we get
family
down.
now.
Can you imagine, like, this was all the stuff that we would just text to each other?
Just text.
And we've been robbing YouTube of this content for years and years and years. So.
We got to catch up. We got to go back in our text.
Right. All right. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
This is Keith.
And we'll see you guys on Thursday. Check us out. All right. Y'all have a great night. Peace.
Deuces.